Hi everyone. So today's video is going to be about what you can do and how you can do yoga when you are completely new and you have no idea. So yoga is so different for everybody, but my interpretation of yoga is it's about making your body feel good. Yes, of course, there's spiritual sides to it, but if that's not for you, you don't have to worry about that part. Maybe that'll come later on. Maybe it won't. Maybe you just like the idea of stretching your body, making yourself feel better, making your body move better. There's so many different reasons to do yoga, and lots of people are a bit afraid to try it sometimes because they think, what if I'm not good enough? Just like in life, you might fail, you might fall, but as long as you pick yourself back up again, everything will be okay. And that's the same with yoga. I mean, it's called a practice, not a perfect. So the idea is that you keep going and you just keep trying, keep practicing, and things will get easier, just the same as anything else. When you first, if you go to the gym, you'll know that the first few times that you went to the gym, it's really hard. And of course, as you progress, you push yourself harder, it stays hard, but you do find things easier because you learn. It's the same with yoga, the same as riding a bike and starting up any new hobby or skill that you have. So I'm just going to give you a few things that you can try that will hopefully help you. So one of my favorite things in yoga is props. So we have here some blocks, we have a strap, and I have a bolster. Now, none of these things are at all required for you to do yoga, especially if you're doing it at home. If you have a mat, that's kind of handy because sometimes carpet can be a bit slippy, or if you're on a tiled floor or a wooden floor, you just want to make sure that you're not going to be slipping all over the place. Blocks are brilliant at helping you to either raise the floor up higher, or they can support you in certain postures, like if we did supported bridge. I'm going to show you a few of these movements in a while as well. And then with a yoga strap, they're great for things like opening up your shoulders, so you could practice what we call flossing in yoga, just stretching out your shoulders, getting some mobility in there. And the other thing that I really like is if we are aiming for our toes. So if we were in a forward fold, we would sit up nice and tall, legs would be fairly straight, you could keep your knees soft. But if you can't reach your toes and you really wanted to, you could use your strap just to bring your feet a little closer to your body. And in this position here, keeping your shoulders relaxed and down, you're using the stretch, you're stretching out your lower back, your hamstrings, your calves, but you're not forcing yourself into a position where you're so desperate to reach your toes that actually your alignment is out of place, or you're maybe hurting yourself. If you overstretch a muscle too much, it's going to be painful. So if you're desperately going, oh, I can't, but I'm going to force myself anyway, and your hamstrings are painful, it's kind of silly. It's just using your ego rather than listening to your body. So a strap can help you with that, just bring you that little bit closer so that you can get into a good position. Another thing I really like a strap for is stretching out your hamstrings. So if we were to lie down on our back, hopefully you can still see me okay. We can take our leg up into the strap rather than, again, desperately trying to grab onto anything. You want to keep your shoulders relaxed and down. So this is a really nice way to relax and release your hamstrings. You just stay here for quite a long time. So sometimes in my classes, we might stay in this position for 3 or 4 minutes. And in that time, you can allow your hamstrings to know it's okay to relax. And it's really nice just to get into this comfortable position, do something good for your body, because a lot of us have tight hamstrings, which can lead to issues with lower back pain. You can have pain in your glutes. It can, like, tight muscles anywhere can affect the rest of your body. So taking the time to stretch out is brilliant. Another thing that's really nice, you can take your leg into external rotation, and you can just allow your leg to be supported by the strap. We also like to come over into a twist, and again, it's just allowing your leg to go where you like, giving your IT band a nice little stretch here. So there's so many amazing things you can do with your straps. If we come into lizard pose, So in lizard, we take our foot to the outside of our hands and stretch our other leg back behind us. And then in twisted lizard, you would reach back and grab hold of your foot. Now, for some people, that is completely impossible, but they really want to reach that foot. So you can grab your strap, you can loop it around your foot, and then you can pull your leg in close. And then you've got the same position, but you're not having to reach back, potentially hurt yourself by your ego. So going, I really want to get there. You can just allow the prop to help you into that position in a nice supportive way that feels really good. So there is some ideas for you for using a strap. And then I mentioned using the blocks. So these are absolutely brilliant. I love how stable these are. There's loads of different types of blocks. But I find quite often if we're in this position and we want to bring our foot in between our hands, some people really struggle with this, especially if there's no block there, because this position, your belly kind of gets in the way. So you can either prop yourself up on your fingertips. That might be uncomfortable for some. And some people just don't have the strength and mobility to be able to bring their foot forward. So in using your blocks, you can have them up any height. So if I've lifted my chest up from using the blocks, I've got so much more room to bring my foot forward, which is absolutely brilliant. And then in this position, I feel nicely supported. I can come into a stretch for my hamstrings, my hip flexors on the other side, and I feel like my belly and my chest are away from my legs, so I'm not feeling really constricted by being down here and squishing everything. I've got the space to breathe. So that's another great thing you can do. If you struggle to sit on the floor in a cross-legged position, by adding the block, you just give more room for your knees to open. You can sit up nice and tall. So that's a really lovely one to do. And I also love it for supported bridge, as I mentioned earlier. So in a bridge position, you're going to be lying on your back, lift yourself up into a bridge, and then pop the block underneath. And you can have it any height. So it could be the low height, the medium height. And when you get a bit more flexible, you can pop it on the highest height. Doesn't feel great for everybody, so I would not force yourself to go up there. Just find in a comfortable position. Make sure that your sacrum on the back of your pelvis is nice and stable, and this is such a lovely restorative position to be in. You could stay here for ages. You might even feel like you fall asleep. So this is wonderful, and it's so nice at relaxing your body. So there's loads of different ways to use your blocks if you need them. And then a bolster, generally they're used for more sort of yin style classes. So you'll do longer holds. They're quite nice to rest on. If you're pregnant, these are amazing. So say we were coming into pigeon and you just wanted something to rest on, just to lift yourself up. You've got room for your belly. This is a brilliant way just to prop yourself up. Even if you're not pregnant, this feels really nice, and you can just relax in here. You can use it as a pillow and just lie yourself down. There's loads and loads of ways, so it's quite nice if you're coming into a forward fold. You can kind of give it a hug, just keep your knees nice and soft. There's lots of things that you can use this for as well. So I guess the most important things to remember if you're a beginner to yoga is to go with what your body feels, because a lot of people look at the yoga teacher and everyone else in the class and think, oh, I should look like them. I don't look like them. And then you kind of panic a little bit. Maybe your breathing will go out of sync. But what I would urge you to think about when you're in any kind of pose is, how does it feel in my body? Yoga for me is about feeling good. And if it's not feeling good at the time, you're not going to enjoy your class. So say we were in a half split. This is quite a strong pose for some people. And if you see that, I can't go into full split, so I'm really tight in my adductors. But if you see someone coming into this position and you're brand new and you're like, I can't go in there, but you're trying, you're probably going to hate the whole time that you're in it. So instead, you could grab your blocks, raise yourself up, and just give yourself that space. And then you could just breathe nicely, slowly, and just relax into that position and go, actually, this does feel really nice. And my other tip for beginners to yoga is about breathing. Now, often in any kind of exercise. To be able to breathe correctly is a challenge. So in yoga, I always say, if you are able to breathe nice and slowly in and out of your nose, unless the teacher's given specific instructions. So in some classes, you might move to your breath. That's called a vinyasa flow class. So you might do one movement as you breathe in, the other movement as you breathe out. But generally, if you're in a pose and you're holding it for a while, just to breathe normally, naturally, and calmly is just going to help you along your way. So I hope these tips have helped. If you carry on with my yoga classes, you'll find there's different styles. So there's some slower classes in there, there's some faster paced classes in there. There'll be lots and lots of chances for you to have a practice and re-go over the class. And I hope you enjoy. I'll see you on the mat.